All right, Cancerians, here we go. The fourth stop in my 12-stop Zodiac fly-through. Let's check out February 2026 for the all signs position, the theme energy of the soul cycle, the oracle on the hill, Sorry, I'm going overboard there. All right, bottom of the deck, your theme energy. As we cut the deck is the Six of Swords. That's a nice smooth energy, isn't it? Oh, everything's easy for you. Easy for you. Easy. It is easy for you to access your empathy, easy for you to access your compassion, easy for you to access your intuition. It's like a Queen of Cups type energy. It's sort of an out of balance Empress. It's mostly Queen of Cups. Be careful about that. All right. It's just a friendly warning. Be careful. You can abuse that, right? When you can get in anybody's pants, metaphorically speaking, you can abuse that, can't you? I mean, it's easy for you. Just remember that. That's your theme. Something is easy for you. Now, somebody attached to you might be resenting that. People don't like it when people make things easy. You know, they don't. Let's see where we go. Let's see where we're at. Shuffle the deck here. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here, or you found Steve's Love Chair, or you're here for a reason, this reading is timeless. I'm not a fucking Time Lord. Might happen next month. I don't know. But these are the energies that are setting up here in February, and they're all pretty big. We're doing pyramids, of course. Top is how somebody feels about you. Middle is how other people see you, or maybe that person, or maybe both. I had to split it on some other reading, too. The bottom of the pyramid is potential final outcome for you, okay? I say potential because I can't predict free will. Nobody can. I'll clarify whatever needs clarifying. Overall energy is the Nine of Swords. On the good news side, nines are the end in tarot. On the bad news side, somebody attached to you. It's almost like somebody's determined to jam you up a little bit. Here, I'm not sure who this is. This doesn't feel like it's the same, and I like it when this happens, by the way, where it's not the same energy I got in the overview reading. So, because the Cancer reading can go horribly wrong in that because it's the theme energy of the cycle, it can just match the overview reading. Right? And it's like, okay, you know. No, this is something different. This is someone else. This is someone else. It's what I said. I felt that as I was starting to shuffle the cards and put your cut cards away, your theme energy. Somebody almost, when you're good at stuff, you get a lot of people that are like, oh, cool, man, wow, you're really good at that. But when you're good at stuff, you also get a lot of jealous people who are pissy about it. They don't like it. They got nothing good to say, right? You represent everything they failed at. You know, that kind of a thing in an extreme way. Well, I've got somebody here who's determined to jam you up, determined to wreck your confidence, determined to keep you up at night with something they say. This is a useful reading. This kind of shit happens all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Okay, let's see where we go. All right. Here's how this person feels about you. It's a soul connection you have, right? Somebody, I don't know. I don't even want to call it discouragement. I don't. Let's see where we go here. There's a lot of love. There's untapped love between you and this person. I felt that. There's an Ace of Cups there. All right. Oh, let's see. How do they feel about you? Let's go. Page of Cups. I said, what did I just say? Rewind. I said there's untapped love between you and this person. They're starting to realize they got feelings for you. But sometimes, if you're this amazing person, let's exaggerate. Okay. Well, actually, let's underestimate. All right, you're this amazing person. There, I'll pay you a compliment. There you go. You're this amazing person, right? Sometimes if somebody's insecure enough to feel jealous, you know, in any kind of way and all that kind of stuff, that rattles them. You know, they're afraid they might not be enough. Maybe, I don't know. There is the Queen of Cups. What did I say about that Empress? Rewind. I said I felt Queen of Cups energy. It was out of balance, and there it is. It's coming out. It's the most love I can pull from the deck. But yeah, somebody feels like you're this and they're that. It's what I said already. I read the energy first, and I throw the cards. I mean, it's just the way I use the cards to check myself, because that's how I learned how to check my energy reading superpowers or whatever. When I was a kid, I checked them with cards. Someone taught me that, and they said you should use the cards. It'll teach you, until you get some life experience. Because I was 10. So but yeah, no, they feel you as that. They feel themselves as that. What's read with that? Ace of Swords. Somebody's realizing that you're the shit. Okay, and I think it's rattling them. I think I could I could, because somebody might say it, I could read the cut cards as somebody sees you're the Empress and it's keeping them up at night, Nine of Swords. But that's not the way the energy flowed. It all flowed onto the Empress. So what I think somebody's going to try to do here is ram some sort of their version of the sword of truth up your ass. Somebody feels like it can also play out as somebody is trying to impress you, right? And in doing that, they may need to try to take you down a peg. So just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. All right? My read is pretty solid on those first two cards. That was pretty clear energy. I'm good at a few things, and so I know people try to jam you up with it. There's people oh, that's awesome, and there's other people that will just, no matter what you do, they would try to fuck you up, try to get in your head, It's just the way people are. It's human nature. But it's usually an insecure person that's doing it. So, you can't really listen to it. With this here, you're good at love. Somebody really thinks you're amazing. What do they think about you? I think they do. The hangman, yeah, that change in perspective, yeah, wouldn't be. They find you mysterious. They find you, there's things they don't know about you, and what they do know scares the crap out of them, so probably they figure what they don't know, holy shit, right? What else? It's what I said. What did I just say? I read that rather than, their perspective has changed. They see you as that and that, but really they find you mysterious. The hangman is a mysterious energy. Here it is, hidden. When that happens, when you've got someone who's jealous enough to try to jam you up because you're good at something, let's say, for example, and they think that there's things that they don't know about you, they find you mysterious, it can, because of the type of person this is, like a jealous type of person, insecure type of person, we'll say, it can lead to paranoia. This is paranoia here. This is somebody, they're hiding something. Why? Because this may be somebody who fancies themselves, intelligent or high EQ or spiritual or whatever. People fancy themselves all kinds of things. But until you put your money where your mouth is, it is what it is. Somebody here, when they think about you, they think that they find you mysterious, but that's leading to a paranoia, a fear. This is the energy of the Sasquatch in the woods while you're camping or hunting or whatever, camping with my dad out in the middle of nowhere, right? You see all kinds of things in the moonlight, shadows and all that. If you're at all prone to it, it can freak you out. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Potential final outcome for you. Red with the Queen of Cups. The King of Swords. This is you saying fuck off. This is you. This is it's strange because this is how I handle this type of stuff too. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I ain't got time for you. Right? Speaking for myself, I'm familiar with this energy, and I don't have time for people like this. They don't get a moment of my time. I'm here in this vessel to learn and grow my energy for a limited amount of time. These vessels break down, they get sick. I'm only healthy in this vessel for a limited amount of time. I don't have time for bullshit like people like this. And I think that's your sort of attitude here. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Go on. There's a couple of ways you can play this with this person. There's a lot of love here. I don't want to say I think you're in love with this person. I don't think this is your runner. I don't think this could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could be somebody that you just come across that you don't even realize you have a soul connection with. One of the ways you tell is people keep coming back. They keep around, they come around, they come around. It doesn't mean you have to like everybody you have a soul connection with. You may have disliked this person in a past life too, right? Well, usually if somebody's a low vibrational prick in this lifetime, they were in the last one as well. They didn't bother to learn the lesson. And they're not bothering this time either, although they're getting closer. They're getting closer if they're getting it all spiritual, right? That's about that. Let's take a look. See, somebody's trying to jam you up a little bit here. Somebody's trying to jam you up. That's what I think. Okay. It's easy for you, and I felt that on that Empress. And I see it here with the 9 swords. I get it, but they're trying to jam you up a little bit. Okay, let's go. Let's clarify with the light seer, which has the world at the bottom. That's pretty awesome. Let's pull on. They feel a lot of love for you, but they feel inferior. They feel, and that bothers them. That triggers them when they feel inferior. They think you're mysterious. They think there's things they'd like to know about you, but that triggers paranoia because of their insecurity. And the final result for you is you may have to just send this person packing. You know? I mean, it is what it is. People like this you don't have time for. If it's happening on social media, you hit the mute button. Don't bother blocking them. Just mute them. Just whatever. It is what it is. I have a policy, my personal policy with shit like this. I don't hate myself enough to deal with people like this. I don't. It is what it is. I let people be who they are. And then I decide whether they get to be around me. That's right. It ties to that energy. I tell you, everybody gets to bang. Everybody wants to bang the Empress, but not everybody gets to. Right? Same concept. I let people be who they are. Well, if they ask me for help, I'll give them help. But if they don't and they're just being who they are, I let them. And then I decide from there whether they get to be around me as they're being who they are. All right. Let's I'm going to pull on the Page of Cups. All right. I'm not going to worry about this for now. She's pointing over here anyway. Let's find out why this person is so goddamn insecure. You might not know who this is yet. This could be a new soulmate that you cross paths with. It is a soul connection, though. I think this person will definitely rub you the wrong way. Definitely enough for you to transform into this King of Swords energy. All right, let's go. Page of Cups. Why is that here? Why is that here? It's crossed by the King of Swords. I love it. I love it. I was just about to say, I hope the final outcome comes out in one of the clarifiers, and it comes out in the first fucking one. That's unbelievable. I should have said it. I'd have looked so cool, right? It's all right. The environmental energy is the King of Swords. It's kind of what I said. This person fancies themselves a certain thing, but you actually are that thing, right? One's a sitting king, one's here, one's a standing king, but that's the way the energy flows. This person fancies themselves this. You make them feel small, okay, whoever they are, because you're good at something. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you're so spectacular that they can't. I mean, I use that as an example. But this type of energy can play out if you're good at anything, right? I mean, whoever you are. I mean, one of my favorite guitarists was Eddie Van Halen. He fantastic guitar player, terrific, influenced the world. He got the shit ripped out of him in a famous Guitar World magazine interview by an interviewer who just obviously didn't like him. Obviously thought Malmsteen was way better and Eddie was just a hack. And he ripped him apart. I mean, he was like talking about solos he did. Why did you do he's asking questions like, why did you do the wrong scale here in this particular... I mean... The wrong scale, his response was great. It was like the wrong scale. If it sounds good, it is good, right? But again, it's that kind of energy. Usually in those types of interviews, you get softballed. They throw you nice, easy questions and that kind of a thing. Why did you play the wrong scale? Usually doesn't come out. It was obvious the person had some animosity towards him. I'm surprised it ever went to print, to be honest with you. This is that kind of thing. It's this person here fancies themselves a certain thing. You are the real thing. It leads to resentment. If they were the real thing, it wouldn't have come around to that, right? If they didn't have insecurity, it wouldn't have come around to that. For all I know, that interviewer fancied himself a better guitar player than Eddie Van Halen, possibly. All the guys that work for those magazines play, so it's possible, But there's no need for. If he really was, he wouldn't be insecure, right? What's on top? The moon. Again, there it is. It's everything I'm saying is coming out. There's the moon again. There's the moon. We just get a repeat message. This is an insecure person you're dealing with. I've given you all the examples I can. It is what it is. Why is the moon here? The death card. Yeah. You make this person examine themselves, and you're going to catch some shit for it. Anytime you do. Anytime you trigger somebody or you're a type of person that makes somebody rethink what they do. If you, God forbid, you're excellent at something, you're a concert pianist or the best clog dancer in the county, you make somebody, and somebody else thinks they're the best clog dancer in the county, then they go see you and realize that they're not. This is the kind of energy you get. Because you shouldn't think you're the best at anything. There's always somebody better, right? All these guys that we've heard of, we're on the guitar topic, all these guys that we've heard of, the Joe Satrianis, the Steve Vais, the Malmsteens, the Van Halens, the Hendricks, all these guys that we've heard of that we think are fantastic. There's some schmuck who just didn't want to be famous, who lives in Ohio or Nebraska or Estonia, for that, who would blow them out of the water. But nobody's ever heard of that person. Because he or she just doesn't want to be famous, right? So you should never consider yourself the best at anything. There's always somebody better. There's always a chance anyway. And you just set yourself up for a moment of depression. It's like setting an expectation for an outcome. So you've done that with somebody here, either with just your presence or whatever. This could be someone, not a love thing. This could be someone... you're a girl, you got a girlfriend, right? They bring a new friend with them over, and that girl was the prettiest girl in her town, and now she looks at you, and you're prettier, and this is someone who that matters to, it's one of those ones with 4 feet of makeup on, that kind of a thing. Makeup 5 layers deep, thought she was great, and here you are, all natural, you look good without any makeup on, that kind of a thing. Any insecurity is going to get tripped up by that Empress energy that we originally pulled on here. All right? And it's just playing out. You're forcing somebody to look at themselves and see that they're not as great as they thought they were. Can I just phrase it like that and we'll leave it there? Fine. I'm going to pull here. There's nothing else I can tell you. I've given you all the examples I can. All the examples I need to. Why is the King of Swords here in the final outcome? Let's just get to it. I, for one, am glad, because sometimes it happens, and with these monthly fly-throughs, I, for one, am glad that the Cancer reading wasn't a repeat of the overview. This is very interesting. This is why would you get this reading? So that you are this King of Swords, so that I can share my point of view with you about people like this. Why should you get upset? Why should you let somebody who's determined to put you in 9 swords keep you up at night? I don't want you to lose a wink of sleep over somebody like this. I want you to be flattered by it. You rattled somebody, right? And you forced them to take a look at themselves. There's more people out in the world that could use to take a look at themselves. Most people never do. Most people never learn a damn thing. They never do. Once they get out of school, they stop learning. They stop growing. They just, go through life and create all kinds of illusions and delusions about themselves. And that's a danger. We'll talk about it in the Neptune in Aries reading, which is coming up after the zodiac fly-through. We'll talk about that. One of the dangers of Neptune in Aries, where it's going to be until late 2030s, early 2040s, is we create all kinds of delusions of grandeur about ourselves, right? You have to be careful about that. You start thinking we're the best at this and the best at that. The narcissists in the DM cycle are going to have a fucking field day with it, because a lot of them already think they're great. This is sort of some of that breaking down here, all right? It's fucking amazing. Tell me about the King of Swords. Give me the final outcome on this. So again, I don't have time for these kinds of people, and neither do you. Right. There you go. Let people be who they are. Don't try to change this person or talk them around or talk them down. It's not necessary. Let them be who they are, and then you decide with your free will whether or not a fair and balanced, emotionally balanced King of Cups, foot on the land, one hand, half the body in the water, in an emotionally balanced King of Cups, and the environmental energy around the King of Swords. These are 2 beautiful energies to have together. They really are. And it's funny, I mentioned myself, I come up a lot as these, although I'm a bit more of a hothead than the King of Cups. But sometimes it does come out this way when I pull on these types of energies. I will tell you, you probably be better at it than me. Your emotionally balanced way, you decide whether or not this energy, while they're being who they are, can be around you. And that's exactly, I already said it long before I pulled these 2 cards, and there you go. It's right there. It's exactly what I said, reflected in the cards. What's on top of this? I'm curious about this. The Hangman. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. No, I am. It doesn't even matter what this card is. We'll pull it in a minute. It's why the Hangman's here. But because look at the repeat cards that have come out. And now, in relation to you, the Hangman comes out. This person thinks, whoever this person is, it could be a group of people, I don't know, thinks you're mysterious, right? And then they go all paranoid with it because they're insecure. That's not your problem. They think you're mysterious. Let them, right? Don't say anything. Don't. I don't know. Just let them think whatever they want, right? It is what it is. Just let them think whatever they want. Don't say anything. Don't lie. Don't tell the truth. Just shut up. All right? Why is that here? The Two of Cups. It's one of those energies that sorts itself out. If you say a word, this is a quiet energy. This is the hangman, right? It's like snoring. It's sleepy time in the hangman tree, right? This bat right there he's in the sleeping position. Sometimes I notice his eyes are open, but not in this case, right? Saying nothing balances the energy. If you open your mouth and you try to explain to this person, if you're the best at something, you're the best clog dancer in your county. This clog dancer comes in, they thought they were the best, and now they see you and realize they're not. You, being the kind, empathetic empress that you are, you want to help them. You want to try to tell them everything's okay. Oh, it's fine. Sometimes I fall, and sometimes in practice I get it wrong a lot. It takes me a while to whatever. All you're going to do is make them feel even worse. Because when they practice, it never gets better, and when you practice, it does. In the end, all that matters to people like this is the end, is what they're seeing at the end result, how they see you now, not the journey it took you to get there. Okay? So just shut up. Right. That is great advice. All you're doing with this King of Cups is you're deciding. While you're letting this person think what they want, be who they are, be the insecure fuck that they are, you're deciding whether or not they get to be around you. If the answer's no, it's no. If the answer's yes, fine. I don't know why the answer would be yes. Maybe you hate yourself a little bit. I don't know. But whatever. Keeping your mouth shut balances the energy here. And that's what it does. I will tell you what. If you talk, if you say a word, right, you will be very disappointed. I'll tell you what right now. Let's see what else the universe wants to tell you. We'll get out of here. One card, the crossing card. What do you got for me? What do you want to tell my Cancerian people? This is a good lesson here. And you might be like, well, Steve, I'm not good at anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't clog dance. I don't play the guitar. I don't, whatever. Never mind good at it. It's how you feel to them. You feel like you'd be a better lover. You feel like you love better. You feel like you're prettier. You're more attractive. You're better at reading people than they are. You're better at anything than they are. It could just be better looking. It could just be. For people like this, it can be very superficial, Take it how you want to take it. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. It's not about clog dancing. It's about this person saw themselves a certain way. They feel you. They see you. And it makes them realize that they weren't that way. And then an insecurity kicks in. And then they start thinking they don't know enough about you. They feel like you might be hiding something. Maybe you're this great clog dancer because you got springs in your clogs. Right? There's something, you start getting paranoid about all kinds of stuff. Right? All of a sudden, they're taking your shoes apart backstage with a hammer. I know there's springs in here. Right? Happens all the time. People are like this all the time. They're especially like this online. So be careful. Bottom of the deck is a star. Final message for you. That's pretty good, isn't it? Huh? Hey, look, I'm about to go pull a Leo soap opera. Cut me some slack. I'm enjoying this, right? I got to talk about Eddie Van Halen. I remember that interview. I remember reading that interview. I think I was in study hall at school. I used to hide the guitar book inside a regular book. Just inside. No, I'm studying English, I swear. Anyway, I remember reading it thinking, wow, this fucking interviewer, what a prick. I remember, man. It was one of Eddie's best solos, too. He was saying, why'd you do the wrong scale? I forget which one it is. It's one of the songs off Fair Warning. Page of Wands crossed by the star. I can see why this person might react this way to you. You're in February. You may develop this attitude where this is like a spoiled kid in a way. I'm not saying you're going to behave like it. I'm just saying it ties back to the cut cards where I said it's easy for you. Effortless manifesting here, right? Pay attention to a recent Schrodinger's cat I did. You might be one of those. I mean, again, everything ties together. That's why I don't put timestamps in the Schrodinger's cat. But you're definitely one more than the other here. There's effortless manifesting here. And I give some good advice on that in that reading on how to manifest with a muse, right? Which, I give the example of using a celebrity, but frankly, you could make up anybody you wanted to. You could just make up a person. Anyway, there's good advice in there. Yeah, everything comes easy for you, like a little spoiled kid that gets everything they want. And that may irritate people that aren't doing too well right now. So be careful about that, okay? Try not to flaunt it too much if you're doing well, right? Okay. If you're driving a BMW, disguise it as a 74 Pinto. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. Good luck.